This episode was sponsored by iSkysoft, the company that makes Filmora video editing app. In this video, I wanted to compare the Huawei Mate 20 Pro to the P20 Pro. I will cover most of the features of each phone and I'll try to answer the question which phone is better for you. I've made detailed reviews of each device and you'll find all the links down below. Let me start the comparison by saying that both phones are beautiful and they look premium. Well, they are Huawei's flagships after all. By the way, in this video you'll see both Twilight and Morpho Aurora color options of the P20 Pro. The latter color variant was released at this year's IFA and it looks just gorgeous. However, the Mate 20 Pro looks more stylish due to curved display, curved back and sides, and smaller bezels. On the other hand, this device has slightly larger notch. Both phones are made of glass and metal and the build quality is excellent. The Mate 20 Pro is slightly taller but narrower. On the other hand, the P20 Pro is thinner and slightly lighter. On the back of the Mate 20 Pro, you can find an upgraded Leica camera setup that now consists of regular telephoto and wide-angle cameras. The P20 Pro setup consists of one 40MP RGB sensor, 8MP telephoto shooter, and 20MP monochrome lens. Both phones have 24MP selfie shooters. The Mate 20 Pro has a larger display that I found to be more vibrant, it has a better contrast, saturation, and it is slightly brighter. The panel is also sharper due to higher resolution. The P20 Pro still has a very good display even though it's not as good as on the Mate 20 Pro. This P-series phone has fingerprint scanner on the front that works flawlessly. The Mate 20 Pro scanner is implemented under the display. It might be slightly slower, but it's also very accurate. Also, it's the first mainstream flagship phone to have this feature, even though we have already seen this implementation on a few non-mainstream devices. What is faster on the Mate 20 Pro? The face unlock feature. I also found it to be more reliable in low light. In fact, facial recognition is so good that I don't even need to use the fingerprint scanner very often. Both phones have the notification LED light, IR blaster, and the buttons are clicky. Neither phone has the headphone jack, but the sound quality via the supplied adapter is equally good. Now a few features that give the Mate 20 Pro an edge over the P20 Pro. The phone has wireless charging that can even charge other devices, that is called reverse wireless charging. This is a pretty cool feature and it works well with my Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. Also, the new Mate has a higher IP rating for water and dust resistance, a proprietary Huawei's nano memory card slot, and its secondary speaker is embedded into the USB Type-C port, which has never been done before on a smartphone. While the speakers on the Mate 20 Pro are pretty good, the P20 Pro has an edge in terms of depth, overall sound quality, and volume output. Also, the sound gets a little bit muffled once you connect the USB cable to the Mate 20 Pro, but there is no need to be concerned about that. Here are a few audio samples. Just before we start talking about hardware, I wanted to show you guys iSkysoft Filmora video editing app and say thanks for sponsoring this video. Filmora Video Editor is the easiest video editing software, allowing you to import any video, photo, and audio files from the iPhone, iPad, Android, camcorder, cameras, and other devices, as well as from Facebook and other social platforms. This video editor app allows you to do the basic stuff like rotating, trimming, splitting, cropping, joining, and etc. In addition, it has plenty of advanced features. I will leave all the links down below the video so you can check it out if you're interested. In terms of hardware, the Mate 20 Pro ships with a more powerful CPU that is built using 7nm technology. Also, this phone has a better GPU than the P20 Pro, but other specifications are pretty much the same. In terms of gaming, both phones are really good, and you can rest assured that you'll be able to play all the latest 3D games on the highest graphics settings without any issues. However, I found that the graphics look slightly better on the Mate 20 Pro, also loading times are slightly faster. As far as user interface goes, the Mate 20 Pro ships with the Android 9 as opposed to Android 8.1 found on the P20 Pro. Honestly, you won't be able to see a huge difference as the Huawei's EMUI looks very similar on both phones, well except for slightly different looking icons in the settings menu. On both phones you get plenty of features and customization options Huawei phones are famous for. The Mate 20 Pro has a new control system that gets rid of the navigation bar, and it is based on swipes. It took me just a couple of hours to get used to it and I love it. If you don't like it, you can always use more conventional navigation methods. I've used the P20 Pro since the official launch and it is still super smooth and fast. The Mate 20 Pro is supposed to be faster, but honestly it's hard to tell the difference in real life. Both phones are one of the fastest out there. Just before we start talking about the image quality, I always upload high-resolution camera samples on my Facebook page. Follow me and be the judge. When it comes to the image quality, I was actually surprised that some of the pictures taken with the P20 Pro look slightly sharper and have more detail, but keep in mind that the Mate 20 Pro still runs on an early software build, whereas the P20 Pro has received plenty of software updates since the official launch. On the other hand, you will not be able to tell the difference which phone took a picture most of the time, as they look almost identical. Both phones are capable of taking one of the best looking pictures with lots of detail, good dynamic range adjustment and colors that pop. The Mate 20 Pro has a massive advantage over the P20 Pro, a wide angle camera that has become my favorite. This lens gives you an entirely different perspective of the scene, and I love the quality of the images. As for the night image quality, either if you take pictures using auto or dedicated night mode, images look similar or the difference is negligible due to slightly different image processing. Both phones are capable of taking nice looking portrait pictures. Selfies look sharper on the Mate 20 Pro. I think they look even too sharp that my chopped lips do not look good. I simply turned off the beauty mode, which is usually pretty aggressive on the Huawei phones, and the P20 Pro is a good example. Portrait selfies look better on the Mate 20 Pro since the bokeh looks more natural and creamier, and the subject is nicely separated from the background. The Mate 20 Pro can finally shoot nice and smooth 4K video, even though there is some jello effect going on in the footage. The P20 Pro's video is sharp and detailed, but it is ruined by the lack of image stabilization. I prefer the P20 Pro when it comes to the overall selfie video quality, even though it's more processed. Also, the sound recording quality is better, but again, this may be due to the early software build of the Mate 20 Pro, meaning we may see improvements in the future. Recording the video while holding the phone in one hand, so I'm not using any stabilization tools whatsoever. And I'm using front-facing camera. I'm recording the video in Full HD 1080p resolution. Both phones are excellent when it comes to connectivity. Huawei claims that the Mate 20 Pro has even better signal reception and GPS accuracy than before. I have to admit, both of these connectivity options work flawlessly, but I have never had issues with the P20 Pro either. Both phones have NFC and plenty of sensors on board. However, the Mate 20 Pro has Bluetooth 5, whereas the P20 Pro has Bluetooth 4.2. The Mate 20 Pro has a massive 4200 mAh battery that has been performing extremely well. In fact, the new Mate has probably the best battery life on any flagship smartphone. I could get 9 hours of screen on time under heavy usage of the phone, which is really impressive. If you use the phone just for the basic stuff, you can expect to get over 12 hours of SOT. The battery life on the P20 Pro is also excellent. You should expect to get an average screen on time of about 6 or even 7 hours while using the phone quite intensively. Under light usage, you should get about 9 or 10 hours of SOT. With the new Mate series phones, Huawei introduced a super fast 40 watts charging technology that allows you to charge your phone's battery up to 70% in just 30 minutes. In other words, you can fully charge the phone in under 1 hour with a supplied super fast charger. As for the P20 Pro, the supplied Huawei's fast charger can fully charge the phone in just about 1 hour and 20 minutes. So there we have it, the Huawei Mate 20 Pro versus the P20 Pro. You should buy the Mate 20 Pro if you want a phone that has a better design and it looks just gorgeous. Also, the Mate 20 Pro has a better display, an upgraded processor, expandable storage option, wide-angle camera, improved 4K video quality, in-display fingerprint scanner, much faster facial recognition feature, wireless charging, reverse wireless charging feature, a higher IP rating for water and dust resistance, better battery life, and faster battery charging time. Also, the Mate 20 Pro ships with a newer version of Android and it has Bluetooth 5, whereas the P20 Pro has Bluetooth 4.2. Now let's talk about why you may want to choose the P20 Pro. First of all, the phone is significantly cheaper, it still has a nice design, good display, and superb battery life. Also, the P20 Pro has better speakers, great overall performance, and the Leica camera setup performs almost equally well or even better in some situations, at least for now, when the Mate 20 Pro runs on an early software build. At the end of the day, the Mate 20 Pro is definitely a better option. In fact, the new Mate is one of the best smartphones the money can buy at the moment. On the other hand, the P20 Pro is still a solid flagship from Huawei, and if saving money is more important to you, you should definitely consider checking it out. What do you think about these phones? Would you choose the Mate 20 Pro or the P20 Pro? Drop me a comment down below. Also, drop me a comment down below if you have any questions about each device. And as always, like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as usual, it was Linus, thank you for watching, and see you soon.